Hello, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable right here on our Star Nations organization's main fan page on Facebook. So glad to have you here with me today. Today's Thursday, August 22nd. I have to look at the calendar. August 22nd. Welcome to all of those that are in the live chat. So glad you're here with me. And those that are watching through the recorded version of this live stream show, thank you so much for making time in your busy day to be able to spend time with the recorded version. Now, if you have any questions or if you want to share something, please put it in the comments and tag me so I know it's there so I have a chance to look at it, okay? All right. So, oh my gosh, this month is flying by. I've got some good news. Yay, good news, good news. The Star Nations magazine, our partners at Magcast, they've been dealing with this hacking thing, right? And we got some good news. There's some rebuilding that's been going on. And so our platform for publishing is back online. And the August issue for Star Nations magazine will hopefully, cross my fingers, will be published tonight. And so I'll send out a notification, a push notification for those who have subscriptions. Thank you so much for being patient with us too. It was kind of out of our hands, It was a grand life lesson in patience and letting and releasing and just letting go. There was nothing we could do. All we could do is wait. And so try to find, positive things in it and to do some work around the magazine that we haven't had time to do. So that was good. That was good. It's like on a rainy day, and you can't get outside to do much. So what do you do on the inside, right? That was what it was kind of like. So I'm hoping that later this afternoon, early evening, I'll be able to sit down and test the magazine. And then if everything works well, all the links are working, then we can go ahead and publish. So look for the push notification for those who have subscriptions through either Apple or Google later this evening, okay? All right. Yay, I'm so happy. It was like happy dancing in the kitchen. So we can actually finish up the August issue. Here we are working on September issue, and we haven't completely finished the August. Yeah, it's a different place to be, that's for sure. That's for sure. So today's cards are very interesting, and we need to finish up just a little bit early today, because following the Spiritual Roundtable, as soon as we finish, at the top of the hour at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Angel Therapy with Maureen Mann begins. And I want to make sure it gives you time to maybe go get something to drink, hit the bathroom, and join us in the chat for her show. And it gives me time to pack up my stuff and head back down to my home, and because I'm broadcasting from Star Nations Academy. And it gives me enough time to get home and get my laptop out and sit down and join you guys in the chat. So we'll be finishing, I'm hoping, by 1:45, 10 to the hour, and that way it'll give us enough time to do what we need to do, okay? All right. So I am going to go ahead and take my phone, and you know what we normally do, right? We send it over to our news feed. We'll send it on to a friend, share the show with someone, right? Okay, so I just got to find our live stream. Here we are. And we're going to share it. I'm going to send it over to my news feed. Just to remind my friends, right? Because, we get busy and then we forget. Or time goes by so quickly that you think you have 10 minutes and, 20 minutes has gone by, right? That's what happens to me all the time. And just to let them know that I'm live streaming. Okay, I'll do that. Send a couple of hearts. And send it over there. There we go. And I think Stephanie's in the house. Yeah, she is, and she's done it. Good one, Steph. Thank you for doing that. All right. Let's see. I'm going to check to see who's in the chat, okay? Let's see. I got bifocals. Hey, Edward's here. Hi, Edward. So good to have you here. We missed you. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And so Stephanie did too. Hey, Steph. And Rob is here, and he sarsaparilla the show. Sarsaparilla. That reminds me of Doris Day. Did you ever see that where she played Calamity Jane? And she walks into the bar, and everybody's ordering beer, and she goes, "And I'll have a sarsaparilla." Yeah. Is that any different than root beer? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had a sarsaparilla. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. Okay. I know we're short. We got just limited time today, so I'll try not to digress too much. Okay. Hey, Jocelyn's here. Good to have you here, Jocelyn. Yeah. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It's really pretty out there today. Really, really. Today would have been one of those good days to do the show outside if I had everything set up. Okay. So here we go. First card. Rainbow Dancer. Don't you like that? Rainbow Dancer. For me, it really brought images up. For me, it would have been Native American dancing, of course. But Rainbow Dancer. We hear about Rainbow Warrior all the time, don't we? And this puts a different little spin on it. For me, dancing is joyful, right? Whether it's Native American dancing or any kind of dancing, really, is just joyful. And so when I saw this card, I thought, oh, it's all going to be about joy. And I know I was putting my own spin on it, but Rainbow Dancer. And the Rainbow Dancer, the author is bringing it from the Pueblo Nation out of the Southwest. And the gift is called the Rattle. The Rattle. Now, some of you may have never seen a rattle like this before. This is a rattle that's the type, is used in a religion called Native American Church. And the Native American Church is a blend of Christianity and a more traditional belief system, religious system coming out of North Mexico and Southwest United States. Now you have to take a look. Here's a task. Try to think of that region without the border. Okay? Because there's indigenous people who live down there that border never existed for them. And so their life was in that part of Turtle Island. Okay? So one of the things that happens in Mexico is there was a traditional religion that was based around nopales. And the nopales is cactus, okay? And they saw that as medicine, And there's a certain cactus that produces a flower, and the flower is what is used to make peyote, okay? And it's an hallucinogenic, yes. And it was used in a very controlled kind of way, okay? So in that traditional religion, not everybody used the peyote. There was only certain people within their clans and in their nation, more like medicine people, holy people. They're the ones who used that plant in order to make the veil much thinner, using our jargon, our language. Okay, so it was easy for them to travel in their spirit from world to world, dimension to dimension, realm to realm, in a very controlled kind of situation. So in other words, they would have somebody drumming for them. They would take in the tea, and they would have another holy person there to assist them. Okay, it's very it's similar Not exactly the same, but it's along the similar of ayahuasca. Okay. Different plants, though. Totally different plants. And so the rattle, many times, now I have never been in a peyote ceremony. Okay. Family members have, friends have. And so they tell me that the use of this particular rattle helps to either call the spirit home or to assist in relaxing the person so that their soul can travel, right? Now, I've seen these kind of rattles used down in Oklahoma for powwows down there are so different than they are up here. Every weekend you could go to a powwow because it's more of a family gathering. It's more of a social thing, right? And so lots of times they're for birthdays and that everybody's invited, whether you know that person or not, right? And so many of the, especially the men, will be dancing in place using this rattle. And so they dance a little bit differently down there too than they do up here in the north. Their style is different. Right? And so if you take really close look at this rattle, the beadwork that's done on the rattle is called a peyote stitch. I can't remember this. My mother calls it by a different name. That happens to be a gourd for the rattle head. And on the inside, for a peyote rattle, is they use, it actually comes from a byproduct of the ant, okay? A-N-T, not the antes, but the ants, A-N-T. You know how an ant will dig out the sand or the dirt from their tunnels, right? And especially just before it rains, they usually build up the outside of the tunnel, right? And if you ever notice that the sand that they're using on the outside of that tunnel is the greens look bigger, and that's because they actually kind of form little balls with the sand or the dirt, right, to stack them up. And so inside of this gourd, what they do is they take some of those bigger pieces from the ant holes or ant hills, and that's what's on the inside. Some people think that they're using rice or gravel, but it's something very, very much smaller. And that's what gives it its kind of, the sound of that particular rattle is much finer. It's not as coarse. It's not as hard. Oops, sorry. Knocked my water container on my computer. Rattle. Oh, thank you, Rob. Sarsaparilla is a forerunner for root beer. And let me tell you, when I used to drink soda, which I don't anymore, haven't in years, like a decade or more, root beer was definitely my choice. That was my choice. I love root beer. And Rob says, be careful not to step on any leprechauns fleeing kleptomaniac children attempting to steal his cereal. Yes. I know that leprechaun. Rochelle, hello, Neshi. Hello, Rochelle. Deb and I just got home from Northport, Sutton's Bay, Traverse City. Very tired, but I have PT at 5:30. Okay. Well, I'm glad you could join us just for a little bit, right? Hi, Deb. Good to have you here, too. Oh, Edward's saying, hi, George. He's now underneath the table, laying on my foot. That's his job. His job is to hold energy for us. And he's doing a really good one, too, don't you think? Yeah. And there's nothing like having your pup lay on your foot while they're sleeping, listening to their breathing. and he'll start snoring soon. All right, so that's a little background on the peyote and the peyote rattle. You know, the religion, the Native American church religion, I remember when it came to my little neck of the woods as a kid, down near Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. I remember when they first put the teepee up, you know, because we were really used to seeing more wigwams around here. And when they put the teepee up, it's like, wow, what's going on? What's going on? And, you know, it's been kind of a little bit of a contention between, you know, traditionalists and the Native American church. And, but you know what? The thing is that they all believe in God and the Creator. They all believe in living a good life in a good way. They all believe in compassion and helping one another. You know, it's just a different label on it. And I know that probably the members of those churches probably think of it much differently than that. But you know, that's, as from somebody from the outside looking in, that's what I see. That's what I see. And people in both of those religions have good hearts. You know, they're good people and good souls, right? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is what the author has to say about Rainbow Dancer. All right, so he's describing the rattle, and he's saying that the gourd head of the rattle is filled with tiny crystals brought up from the earth by ants as they build their anthill. It's designed to fly off and awaken the user who may have gone too deep into trance. The horsehair tufts calls the spirit of horse to carry the consciousness of the participant. He says, I give you my rattle. Use it to find your personal rhythm once more. Rattles are more than musical instruments. Each has its own voice or vibration. Some rattles can break up negative patterns. Some are used for prayer and calling spirits. They bring joy, teach you to dance, to move with energy, to get on with your life if you've gotten stuck. If the rattle has come to you, it may be telling you that you need to observe whether you've hidden any kind of prejudice, your shadow self, because the rattle can help you to shake that up and clear it out. Remember, we're all spirit. All are deserving of respect as we seek to weave our rainbow people together into one tribe, right? And so when we think of joy, many people think of rainbows, right? So rainbow dancer. Rainbow dancer. The part that really jumped out at me is that when you're using the rattle can actually help you to travel to that next dimension. And when you're looking at a rattle to buy or to make, you really have to be aware of what it's made of and the intention that you're going to use that rattle for, okay? It's much like a drum in a way, yeah? Because the voice of the rattle is working with your energy. Divine energy is running through you, through your medicine, right? Through your strengths and your gifts. And that energy runs through you, down through your hand, down through the rattle, and out into the world. And so the medicine of the rattle has to be in alignment with what you're doing. Okay, does that make sense? So if you buy a rattle that has certain decorations on it, You want to know what the decorations are because they all carry a certain vibration, right? And does it match your intention? Are the feathers, what do the feathers belong to? What kind of bird? And does it match your intention? Right? If you're using the rattle to help you with shamanic travel, shamanic journey, then yes, horsehair would really be good on there. Or owl feathers, right? Or crow feathers. So you really have to know. You have to know and make your intention your decision before you purchase or make your rattle so that the energy is in alignment with your intention. So if you're using it for your, let's say you have your own healing practice, right? That you want to know what's on or in that rattle because it's going to be used for assisting others in their healing, right? So, for instance, you don't want a rattle that's going to be calling spirits in, right? If it's used as a dance rattle. You might want to use one that calls spirit in if you're using it to clear a space, whether it's a home or whether it's a person. See what I mean? Yeah. So you have to have your intention and that it's in alignment. Here, Rob, what you saying, Rob? He says, as George, his job is to do George things in a George way, and he's such a George. And I know, and that's a Georgie thing. He is a Georgie boy. Did I tell you that I have a new nickname for him? I call him Sweet Boy. And he perks up his ears, Sweet Boy. He's really sleeping. All right. So you can use the rattle. And so what is Rattle telling us today, right? What's the message Rainbow Dancer is bringing us today through the rattle? The things that jumped out at me was that that the rattle can help you to find your personal rhythm once more. So if you feel like you're kind of out of step, with and not quite yourself, you can use a rattle to help you come back into rhythm. And perhaps Spirit is asking us, offering us that opportunity. Do you need help? We can help you. We can help shake it up, shake it out, and then fill it with a different kind of energy, right? To bring you back into alignment. Maybe it is, because so many of us have been going through changes, right? Remember, many of us went through a really, really big change not too long ago. And some of us were starting the next life lesson, the next journey, the next adventure for our soul, right? And so some of us are kind of in the midst of that one. Perhaps the rattle can help us to find that new rhythm that we have because we've gained wisdom or we're gaining wisdom. And so we're not the same person we were 2 years ago or even a year ago. And for some of us, not even 6 months ago. Okay. And so Rainbow Dancer coming through the rattle can help us make that adjustment, because we all go through that integration phase, right? We all do. And so perhaps the integration phase, a rattle can help us go through that a little bit more gracefully. Yeah. So that we can relax into it and allow the wisdom that we've gained to come to us in a way that we can understand it better, deeper. So that when we start the application of that wisdom, we feel more confident, right? We feel more comfortable in our skin. And every time I say that phrase, it kind of makes me laugh because here we are, spiritual beings, right? Having a physical experience. How many times have you guys heard that phrase? Lots of times, right? So this body, this container, right? Our soul has to feel comfortable in the container, right? So that brings it kind of maybe a different focus, a different perspective. So if your soul is one that wants to experience hiking and rock climbing or canoeing or kayaking or a very active sport kind of life, and you're overweight or you're a smoker or and your physical body just isn't capable of doing what your soul wants to do. And so now there we go. We're out of alignment, right? And so perhaps it's one of our life lessons is to condition our physical body so that our soul is more comfortable in its own skin. And why do I laugh at that? Because so many of us, we talk about wanting to be healthy. And we do. We want optimal health. We really, really do. We crave it. We want it. But maybe if we put just a little bit of a different perspective on it, we just turn it just a little bit and we take a look at it again. And so it really is about being in alignment and making adjustments to this physical container so that our soul is more comfortable, so we can actually get on with the rest of our soul contract, our soul growth. I don't know, something to think about. I'd be interested to see what people think about that in the chat. Because maybe that is what the message is use it to find your personal rhythm once more. So that once more makes it sound like we had it and now we don't. And so the rattle can help us to bring us back into rhythm with ourselves. Okay. Rainbow dancer. All right. Second card. Second card. I know you guys are going to like this one. Hawk. Hawk. Okay, and so then we have, I'm going to get this into focus. There we go. That's a medallion of a hawk in beadwork. Isn't that gorgeous? Hawk. Now, this particular hawk, the author says that it comes from the Southwest, and right behind the medallion, you'll see cactus, right? And that this hawk actually makes its nest within the cactus. And the feathers there are hawk feathers. The middle one, or the one on the inside, is a red-tailed hawk feather. And I think the other feather, he says, is one from that particular hawk that's in the medallion. And I know that there are many people in the chat that have hawk of one kind of another as a power animal or a birth totem, right? And so we have this connection to one who flies, right? Hawk. And I don't know, every time we talk about totems or power animals, I say the same thing. broken record, is that if you have an animal for a totem, such as the hawk, that you'll want to, yes, take a look at and get familiar with the metaphysical or the esoteric meaning of the animal, right? The archetype of the animal. But you also want to get to know about its habitat, where it lives, how long of a lifespan, how much do they weigh, when do they molt, when do they have their offspring, do they migrate? If they do, where they migrate from and to? What are their hunting territories? Who are their allies in that hunting territory? You want to get to know them. Why? Is because they bring their characteristics to you as their strengths, right? So if you call on them, you know the kind of medicine that they're bringing to you, okay? So like hawk has very keen eyesight, right? They're very agile flyers. The smaller hawks, they can fly through densely wooded areas and make it through there. They're like acrobatists going through the woods, flying through there. Yeah. So get to know them. Get to know them. Edward, I'm not overweight, I'm under tall. That's the challenge, right? Maybe. Yeah. And where do we get pure tobacco for ceremony? Oh, it's a good question. That's a good question. Well, I got to think about that a little bit because it's different in many places. Like, I would highly doubt that you can get pure tobacco that's used here on Turtle Island in the UK. And if you could, it'd probably be very expensive. In the United States, if you go onto a reservation, sometimes they'll have it for sale in their smoke shops, right? If they have a casino, they probably have a smoke shop. It's possible that you could get it there. Lisa, what state do you live in? Do you live in the United States? And do you live in the countryside or someplace where you can have a small garden? And the reason why I ask is because I have some. I have some dried, but I also have seeds. And I'd be happy to share some seeds with you, Lisa. If you have a place to plant and to take care of them, I would be happy. I would be happy to send it to you, right? Yeah. I use natural American spirit usually. I also know people who grow it. Yep. Yeah, and the natural American spirit, the commercial one, is very good. That is a very good product, and I have used that too. And in fact, I haven't had to buy it in a long time. So when I only had commercial tobacco, that would be the one, unless I was gifted. And I've been gifted lots and lots of tobacco, and so I still have some of that left too. Yeah, but if you're looking for the natural, right? Really? Lisa lives in Wisconsin, a couple of hours from me. Oh my goodness, Lisa. Do you ever find yourself coming this way at all? Because I'd be happy to have you come here and pick it up. I might be able to drive to you. It depends on how Mom is feeling, and if I can get somebody to come in to stay with her. Yeah. Or if you decide to come to one of the classes here, then it would be like super simple, super easy. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. You're kidding me. You're Ho Chunk and you live in the Dells? Or you're asking me? My grandmother was Ho-Chunk on my mom's side. I have lots of Ho-Chunk relatives. And I grew up in the Dells. Can't you tell the accent, the attitude? This is a Dells attitude. I grew up in tourist country. Yes. Yep. Rob says, I used pipe tobacco. Too, but that was ancestral and it's also discontinued. Oh, okay. You can still use pipe tobacco. In fact, when you're buying tobacco commercially made for tobacco ceremonies, use pipe tobacco. There's nothing else in it. Like a lot of people will put cherry wood or something like that in there to give it the fragrance. Just plain pipe tobacco. Never use chewing tobacco for pipes or for a ceremony. No, it's too sticky. Too sticky. So we'll have to get together, Lisa, okay? We can get that done. Easy peasy. All right, let's find out what the author is saying about hawk. All right. So hawk tells you to use its gift of keen eyesight and instincts to check your environment and lifestyle. Alternatively, it may be advising you to seek counsel to ascertain the direction you need to take on your spiritual journey. Soar with hawk to reach higher levels of consciousness, and from these heights, you will find your path in life. Hawk's keen sight will sharpen your awareness. His ability to hover teaches you poise and balance. If he swoops and flies off in a particular direction, seek your vision there. Yeah. There is also saying, consider your health and your weight. You can't take off with hawk if you're carrying too much baggage, which could include mental or emotional stress. Hawk can help you to fly out of your body on vision journeys to gather knowledge from unseen worlds. This can awaken latent psychic abilities. Self-awareness is the key. Okay? Hawk. So there's a few things in here that helps to support Rainbow Dancer, right? And so, soaring with hawk to reach higher levels of consciousness so that from these heights you'll find your path in life. And so with Rainbow Dancer and the Rattle, right? The Rattle that can help you go from realm to realm in the unseen, right? So if you're doing meditations or shamanic type journeys, you can certainly call on hawk. And especially if hawk is one of your power animals, most certainly you want to have hawk with you so that you can tap into their strengths to be able to see clearly, right? And the part about to consider your health. And I know that, I saw this as a different perspective, just kind of turning that just a little bit to be able to see about the rattle and finding our own rhythm, right? And to be able to be comfortable in your own skin. And really it's our soul being comfortable in this container. To be able to really fulfill your soul contract that you came here to do, right? And perhaps some of that has to do with making strides toward having a healthier body so that you have more mobility and flexibility, right? More stamina, more endurance. And some of that actually takes self-discipline. And I have to tell you, as some of our spiritual work that we do does take self-discipline in order to be able to carry it through completely to the end, to see it to completion, right? And especially if you're there helping someone else, and it's to be able to keep the reason why they came to you as the priority. It's not about you, it's about them. And so when you're out there and you're doing shamanic journey for them or healing work with them, and your focus isn't on them, it's on yourself, that's not self-discipline at all. And so, maybe, this is part of it, right? Is that in order for us to be all that we can be, we do need to have some self-discipline, but we also have to consider releasing or taking care of ourselves better, releasing the excess baggage, not just the physical pounds, right? But the mental and emotional stress. And it's all about our healing work, so that we can fly with Hawk, right? Yeah. So, the feeling I had between these two cards is it's really about how we can really fine-tune how we lead our spiritual life, right? Many of us have been around the block many times with this. We're many of us aren't here for our first rodeo, so to speak, or our first dance, right? We've been around the information and working with it the best we can. But I think that Spirit with these two cards is really asking us to really consciously kick it up a notch. Okay? It's a gift. They're saying that we're ready. You can do it. We're here to help you. Right? So I'm going to show you the two cards in just a second. I almost did it just then. I forgot. Is that you want to call your spiritual team to you, the whole team. Get everybody there. Ask them to come close because they're always with you. Just ask them to come close and ask them to help you to take in the information that the two cards are bringing us today for yourself in the optimal way, in the optimal amount, to be able to help you to see both the seen and unseen message. Okay? All right. And then take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, take in the images, right? And the things that we talked about. Right? And how rainbow dancer, you can become a rainbow dancer. You can have joy in your life. The joy will come automatically when we're in our true rhythm. When our soul, our spirit self, feels comfortable in its container, so that it can come and go during dream time or shamanic journey time. That the physical experience that our soul is having here right now, that our body is able to do that comfortably. And it does take some self-discipline, as we know, to get our physical body in an optimal health for our soul's expression, our soul's experience. And Hawk is coming in to be able to help us to do that, drawing on Hawk's keen sight, helping us to see where we need to do the tweaks, where we need to shift our focus and our energy in order to have an optimal, healthy life, healthy body. Right? So that they can help us to grab those messages too that they bring to us. Right? I get the feeling to me is that Spirit is saying, you can do this. You can bring up your spiritual experience with some tweaks to your physical body. So that your soul, when it has this physical experience, it is the optimal experience. It might take a dose of self-discipline to kick it up a notch, but we're capable. We have everything that we need to be able to do that. We have all the tools and all the assistance. We just have to decide, intend, and then carry it through. Right? There we go. That's quite a challenge, isn't it? All right, let's see. All right, so Lisa's saying, not Ho Chunk, wondering if I can get it there. Oh, I see what you mean. You might. The smoke shop next to the casino, it's not in the casino, next to the casino, you might want to try there. I'm trying to think of anybody that's down there that's actually got some. Sometimes they have it and they're not sharing it. It's possible. Check. It might be there. But if you can't find it, really, Lisa, I've got seeds. If you have a place to grow it, I got plenty of seeds that I can give you. So Andrea says, hi, joining late, right on time. I'm sure you saw the last two cards together, right? Hey, Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. She says, thank you for talking about getting the tobacco. I've been wanting to put some in a sacred area. Oh, okay. Well, where are you at, Crystal? Because I can, if you're anywhere drivable distance, come on over. If you have a place to be able to plant the seeds, I can send you some. And Lisa's saying, Mom had strokes. I don't go far. Looking in for future classes. Oh, I know what that's like, Lisa. I know what that's like. Well, like I can, if I'm sending it postal to Crystal, I can send it postal to you too, Lisa. And Rob is saying, some of know the way to Calgary. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. You're very welcome. I have plenty. I have an abundance of tobacco seeds. All right. So it's about 10:02. I wanted to say that, if any of this resonated with you, my suggestion is that you embrace it. Embrace it and see, sense, or feel how today's energy is unfolding for you and where this information could be helpful, right? That's the intention, where it can be helpful to you. If it didn't resonate, don't worry about it. Wait till Sunday. You never know what the cards are going to hold for you on Sunday, right? Because remember, Spiritual Roundtable, I'm here Sunday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday, I work on publishing stuff. So on Star Nations. So yeah, wait till Sunday. Maybe you're the messenger. Share the recorded show with maybe somebody that's been looking for the information, right? And then you're done. Yeah. Okay. So, and the two ladies, Crystal and Lisa, If you want to PM me your postal address, I'll get that in the mail to you. Okay. Okay. So, got to get ready for angel therapy. She's coming up in 10 minutes. That's Maureen Mann. And she is talking about how the angels can help us with our healing. And why not? Why not gather more information, right? Never know how much is going to be helpful. So join me there because I'll be in the chat. It's going to take me a few minutes to pack up my stuff here and head back down to the house, and I'll join you in the chat. Okay. All right. So Bama Mina, enjoy the rest of your day. Bama Mina means until we see each other again. Love you guys. That'd be Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Spiritual Roundtable. I'll see you guys then.